How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end. Welcome to BioMutant.
It really isn't a lot of people. These guys pulled off something really great. But we must give Russian staff credit for what they have accomplished for the Russian version. Everyone knows it is so much different than the Polish version, and the Indian version, and the Swahili version, and everyone deserves their name to be scrolled across my screen, which will take up namespace, and audio, and memory, and it's going to have consumed the video game data that could have been gone to, German engineering. It must go to German engineering, because the German engineering is superior! Oh wait, here, because the Chinese version is definitely different. Definitely different. Oh wait, I hear myself talking. I hate hearing myself talk, hold on. I don't know how some of those radio guys do it. They get the playback going on in their head. I'm charging the headset. Give and take, I'll be here for like hours. So right now, controller microphone. Buonasera, Italiano version. Ah, bellissimo, bella, bella. Konnichiwa. Wait, let's do a Japanese accent. Konnichiwa. Yeah. Alright, Japanese little girl. There you go. For people that think that I won't do it. Oh, Spanish. 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 That's not Mexican. That's like Spanish. I don't know Spanish. Spanish. How would Spanish work? It would sound like Mexican, but not Mexican, right? So, they would say hola, probably? Hola! But not glasses, I don't think. Aww. Look at that. These are the ones that count. Epic even got a little push there. I bet you they shelled out some money for believing what they probably saw something and were like, how much do you need? Here, here's a little bit. Put it in our store only. And they said, no, we can't. So we'll put it in our store anyway. And they said, yeah. Like, okay, I love you. Here's my money. Epic has a lot of money. Under medium because I'm no schmo. Oh shit. What's going on, R2? Pop beat?
Encode your DNA.
Oh, for a second I thought I was frozen in time.
Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Commando, Psy-Freak, Saboteur, Sentinel, Saboteur. Sentinel. Psy-Freak. Commando. Deadeye. Deadeye chosen. Sounds good. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise, an echo of balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you ask me, but you'll come around, eventually.
But what comes around goes all the way back around. So, it's better to stick to your instincts. You can't fight what's in your nature.
In your nature, and here I was hoping we'd be all about natural selection, survival of the strongest, and so forth. If that's not instinct, then I don't know what is.
Natural selection is all about evolution and progress, and as soon as there's enough light, darkness will disappear.
Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. Thoughts and prayers. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die.
Apologize, my cats were goofing around.
Got one. Right between the eyes. You look civilized. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. That's an absolute... That's going to leave a mark. Shouldn't take much more.
The double load. Classic. Go through one, walk, go through two, new level. Probably gonna go through another one.
That's more like it. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. Someone will pay dearly for that. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Slash and dash. Grab on tight and go. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its
Smartest man alive!
Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Well placed. Chop it up. Handy. Crack-a-doodle. Halfway there. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. Looks valuable. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. It's a scar you're covering under that eye patch, isn't it? But he would have recognized you anyways. You look exactly like your Muma. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. The impending threat of the World Eaters bringing down the Tree of Life is ever so close. He also worries about the Jagni tribe that's actively working for a doomsday and purging of the world. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here.
Yeah.
You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people.
Yeah.
The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. You've found one. You should be proud. Complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate his life to it. He has the feeling the fate of the world depends on it. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the pensai tree. Oh, it'll need a continuous flux of ki over the 12 months to come, so countless, he'd say. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. You can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something changes, we're doomed. The land won't survive the side effects of the old world's industrial advances. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No, she's got lots on her mind and needs rest after the raid last night on the Lupin camp with her disciples. Wonders if they let the Predator family live or not. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. The genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse that Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land set the World Eaters' DNA into overdrive. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Nocco has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. He claims names have power, so he gave them these names to weaken them. For him, the Porky Puff is particularly personal. It was that carnivorous beast that took his leg. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
Ah! That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's Out of Date again. He must have missed something important.
Kabobe farhi muk bebuk.
Out of Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there are two nearby.
Kabobe farhi.
The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the greater good and have a code of honor.
Ebaso do bubu du koye.
Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way.
Mopu far kobi.
Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side.
Vunko vunturbo. Udenuku nunyofobo.
He believes the tribe's Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. Myriad is convinced that defeating the World Eaters is the only way the world can be saved, but they've been forced to focus on their rivalry with the Jagni tribe. Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. Pow! Chop, chop! Right in the face. Blasting everything to bits. Now that's a flesh wound. You don't have the key energy for that. Misery. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's it. Work your way up. As long as you're happy about it. Bet something's up there. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. That's the Myriad Fort. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Doesn't know if the Sifu will have time for you, but he'll let you in to find out. The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. He's convinced you've returned for a reason, and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. There were 6 of them, but the unity fell apart after Lupa Lupin attacked the old village. Soon after, they formed new tribes based on their own values, and when the Blight started, the animosity escalated to war. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the Tree of Life. He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm in doing good to others. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. The Myriad were placed here to fulfill a certain purpose, chosen to unite the tribes and take control of their destiny. The tribes need a firm hand guiding them into the future. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. They might bring them war, but they'll never take away their inner peace. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. A war that bonds as much as it breaks. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share land again. You were all part of the same tribe once, but without your Muma there as a guide, the disciples turned on each other and formed their own tribes. Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul and can sense you still have it in you, the will to do good. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on your way to the first rival outpost might help. Even though it's now a different place from a different time, it is a place that'll make you remember. Thinks you should find a good place to hole up until daybreak. Seems surprised you have to go. Not surprised that Pichu, who live in darkness, are weaker than the myriad light. Says you'll meet again. Says they are looking forward to seeing more of you. Understands you have other places you need to go. Says the Tree of Life reflects the state of our world. Says you'll see each other later. Sparkles about how brilliant it is to have someone like you that shares both genetics and karma in the myriad spectrum. Has plenty to do, so no worries. Says, seriously, go find Noko. She's over in the Gnote pen, taking care of the Gnotes. Understands you have things to do. Wonders how you could be so amazing when you were so quiet as a kid. Says you'll meet again. Says a savior wouldn't bother with saving the unsavable. Understands completely. Shines happy that the myriad can count on a friend as bright as you. Understands you have other places you need to go. Says you're okay by them. Wouldn't be surprised if you met again. Says there's an interesting place nearby that no one knows about, but doesn't really want to talk about it right now. Says there's no reason to let you in on where it is. Says there's no reason to make threats. Would have told you about it sooner or later. It's not far from here. Wishes you'd been better as a kid, but is glad you finally figured it out. Understands completely. Claims to have strange things from the dead zone that are so rare they need to be seen to be believed. The doors here are always open for a potential customer. The vendor says you can browse his goods anytime during opening. You don't have enough. Says you should hit the Gnote pen and wishes you would just give up and let the world burn. Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. Wonders if you're sure you should be out on such a dark night. Has plenty to do, so no worries. Wonders if Ankati prefer thin air so they can enjoy more light in their lives, like the Myriad do. Says you'll meet again. The tree will wither. Sparkles about how brilliant it is to have someone like you that shares both hopes to see Wonders how bad it must be out there for you to be skulking about this hopes. The gatekeeper welcomes you back to the fort. Says goodbye to you. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Let's see. The gatekeeper welcomes you back to the fort. Wonders who thinks up these mechanical things.
Hey, look, my connection's better. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurled.
Injured. Whoosh. Wow, that's good stuff. Itchy trigger finger. Bullseye. Nice shot. As long as you're happy about it. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of
My character has PTSD.
Whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop says he always does better whenever he leaves failure behind. He's happy his good mood is infectious. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. Goop says some choose to be lonely because no one understands what they're going through. If that's you, he'll try to help you if you let him. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now.
Child.
And he'll be honored.
Wanapta patko. Tulpua. Loser.
He swims like my dog.
Itaku.
He says that wasn't too bad, was it?
Bauta sareto no kuana.
Way to go. Don't let the sound of the waves drown out your spirit.
Raisate manu.
But you need practice. Lots of practice.
Ajin botalante.
Great things usually happen to those who never stop trying. He hopes you'll be one of them.
Raisate manu.
You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. You can never try too hard. Judging by your Muma's look, it seems you forgot something.
Kanamunta.
You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go.
Asil natu.
You know you can't make up for lost time.
Boilakudo.
You should know, practice makes perfect.
Boilakudo.
As long as it doesn't kill you, it'll only make you stronger.
Boilakudo.
She'll see you at the village square.
Aplitonumuta. Urasa durut.
She says that's good. With a passion for learning, you'll never cease to grow. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. He's learned that things are never as bad as they seem. You'll feel better in the morning. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. He's happy to hear that from someone that's a part of the coming generation. You owe it to yourself to protect the environment. You should look for things that are recyclable. It shouldn't take you too long to find some. He wonders what usefulness you found. He says every little thing counts. He can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. That's the spirit. You can't make a difference unless you get your hands dirty. He'd love to teach you to upcycle, and the scrap you found would be a good start.
I want the world to know I am making a banana knife. This is happening. Mugger comes at you in the middle of the night, screaming, "Potassium!" What the fuck?
You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He believes being considerate will help you feel at peace with yourself. He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. He thinks mastering the 6 weapon styles of Wang Fu is more than enough for anyone. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the
Mama. Banana knife.
Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent hardship on nature and the environment. It's your future.
Andro?
She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone.
Andro?
She says it's not only about this moment and where you were going. You have to find yourself first, then everything else will follow.
Kalino? Ben Nampusa.
You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her.
Tukonda. Kalino? Tropalo.
Then start by meeting her on the village square and take it from there. She knows you're a free spirit, always on the move, like the wind. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He says that it's not too late for you to turn back, though. There's no way they'll let you pass.
Epasi,
He wants to know who you think you are.
Epasi, Kofi.
They push each other to become better, and sometimes someone gets pushed down along the way.
That's my Muma's banana knife.
Mustiki muhka?
She asks if you're hurt. What happened?
Can't see.
She says it's nice of you to consider them, but they have weapon training at sunrise tomorrow, so they'll need all the rest they can get.
Sadurutu.
The most important thing is that you're okay.
Can't see.
It's time to focus on your training now.
Antoro puri kumbala muma.
You won't need excuses if you are strong in your conviction.
Oh, you have no fucking clue. I was gonna show that to my mom. Be like, look, Mom, I made you a banana. They fucking stole it. I'm so upset that they took it. I know, the bastards. Bastards! I like how I'm tiny though, look. I'm all tiny. Look how tiny he is. So little! He's so little!
Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling. Training with Muma will make you feel better. It always does. He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training. He'll talk to her, sure, but you know she wants you to accept responsibility for your own actions and future. He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas for how you can upcycle some old fabrics. He's curious to see what you found. He says whatever it is, it shouldn't be left forgotten at the bottom of a pile of recyclables. He can work wonders with pretty much anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. Says at least dirty hands are proof that you tried, and that counts. That you failed this time doesn't mean you can't succeed the next. He says it's about time you learned how and offers to teach you, starting with the scrap you found. The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you. He knows she's already proud of you and everything you've achieved so far. You should take it with you, wear it to practice. He thinks you should. She'll be proud of you. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this.
He's got a fin on his back like Jaws.
Your Muma says it's about time you got here. Hopes you're as ready as you claim to be. She says she is eager to get started. You don't have much time left before the sun goes down. But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back. That's a good attitude as long as you keep learning.
Man, he punched that fucking thing in the dick.
Your Muma says he did
Mama's all like, yeah, that's right, baby. Punch him in the dick. That's right. Thank you, Muma.
Thanks you for being such a good student. You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it. That's why you should...
Free prize inside. Free prize inside. Free prize inside. This guy's like the best. What'd you do today? It's out? Alright, feel the grass out here. I'll be right back. Okay, you're okay. Alright, I'll be right back.
Catchy.
tukonda.
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful.
Ansonbara.
She's happy you appreciate what others do for you.
Anora kapapon. Kamonu.
A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent communication device.
Mustiki muhka.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see.
Masamal.
You should think of it as watching over you when she can't.
Ferena masalapu.
Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day.
It's intended.
Says a good rest makes you ready for tomorrow. Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa Lupin from setting the world on fire.
Antoro. Kensi. Kamonu.
Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it.
Volakamono brutna.
Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him coming.
Bere.
Lupa Lupin is a problem older than you.
Ferena masalapu. Pial tu man.
Whatever happens, you need to know she loves you. And everything she's done has been to protect you, your Popsy, and those she was chosen to lead.
Pial tu man.
She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History has finally caught up with her.
Pial tu man. Kudutuku.
She had a life before you were born, you know. Darker and less fun. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity, when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on.
Fuck you, I'm not crying. You're crying. I'm not crying. You're crying. I'm not crying. I can't read.
Let's see. Man, that's fucking rough. Alright, now for something completely different. A perfect fit. The tribe's caught a fluffy Hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet.
I wanna fucking ride a fluffy Hulk. Quote unquote. Look, bunny! Burn! Burn!
They couldn't keep it down. Fluff Hulk's on the loose. You've already drained it. Slice him. It's starting to add up.
He barfed electricity at me. I'm calling cheat.
The tribe's caught a fluffy Hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet.
It was its fluffiness. Quote unquote. I was fooled by its fluffiness.
They couldn't keep it down. Fluff Hulk's on the loose.
Look, if you shoot it in its tail, it goes red. So, yeah, I found the weak spot.
Personal. Feeling so much better. Kaboom! Flash the slash. Oh, yeah. You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned to take the Fluff Hulk out to the Farfnacky leaves and let it go. They've received news a Ronin had strengthened their ranks and were looking forward to meeting you. A group of myriad crusaders already headed out to Jagni's Mercadorpus outpost and are waiting for you there. You should hurry there and help them best the outpost. Not really. It's west of Bricktown. You can spot Gizmo's chug yard from the hill it resides on. Better not keep the Crusaders waiting.
It's a chocolate vampire bunny. Awesome. I'm getting two. Two of them. I want two.
Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning. Look, an emergency box from the old days, when you needed to pack a punch. Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist.
I've been playing for hours and I'm still doing training.
Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? Knuckled up. That notice board? Filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. The Toxanol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it away when they were done with it. Toxanol never cared about the waste, as long as they didn't have to pay to clean it up. There must be a track somewhere in this brick town. Just hope it's not buried. Days wasting. Get to work while you can. A flush stool from the back in time. Seems like the tighteners on the piping need to be unturned correctly to drain the flush stool. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's the kind of trouble you really want to wash away. Fits you well. This corner of the world is called Bricktown. Days are scarce. Don't waste them. The stars never give enough light. Taking something off your mind. The end is coming to the world, and everything else. Never thought I'd see a clothes soak. You need to get the pegs lined up to get the clothes soaker rolling. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You really put a spin on it.
My guy is homeless. What the fuck? I paid money to play a homeless character. Well, yeah, PTSD. So yeah, explains everything. I still have my chocolate bunny though. Chocolate bunny. Ooh, something over here.
Good for protecting your privates. Night falls like a giant around here.
That is a fat mouse eating ice cream. That looks like a carrot. But I'm very sure it's a fat mouse eating ice cream. Yeah, you just don't see that every day. Yeah, this is my fucking karma. Yep. Nothing spooky about this at all. Fuck some shit up, excuse me.
Shot. Amazing how the forest is doing so well, while the tree of life is dying. You look ready. Looks like the Fry Sparker's knobs need to be in sync if you want to get the hardware working. Just a few moves left. Make them count. It's a Fry Sparker mindset. Boom! You got something. It's not exactly what you wanted, but you got it right away. great capper. That's an odd thing, don't you think? If a story is about you, care for